heard stories about the Duttons.
No one escapes unscathed. The law. The Duttons have been it.
Marshals is coming back, and honestly, the wait has felt endless. Season 1 left us with more open wounds than closed ones. Cal and Belle bleeding out under enemy fire, Tom Weaver quietly revealed as the man pulling every string, and Kayce riding off with Dolly with absolutely no idea what her father has been doing behind his back. Now that we've got a premiere date and a real trailer to pick apart, let's go through what's confirmed, what's still a mystery, and where I think this whole thing is headed. First, the basics. Season 2 premieres October 4th, and it's moving to a new time slot at 8:30 Eastern. That's a big vote of confidence from CBS after how Season 1 performed, and it also means we're not waiting on a mid-season slot this time. The show is being treated like a flagship. Let's start with Cal and Belle, since that finale genuinely had me worried we'd lost one or both of them. Logan Marshall Green has since confirmed both characters are alive, but he was careful to say they won't come out of it unscathed. I don't love the sound of that. On top of getting shot at, Cal is still dealing with the cancer diagnosis he revealed near the end of Season 1, and Belle's gambling debts are apparently still eating away at her marriage. So even if bullets aren't what does them in, it sounds like Season 2 is going to keep piling pressure on both of them rather than giving them a clean recovery arc. Then there's Andrea. If you told me after the finale that she'd be back on the team, I might not have believed you. She left for that job in Washington, D.C., the exact thing she said she wanted all season. But the trailer makes it pretty clear she's back in Montana, and Ash Santos has talked about why. Her read is that Andrea gets the job she thought she wanted and immediately starts questioning whether she actually wants it, because she didn't realize how attached she'd gotten to the life and the people she built in Montana. Santos has also said we're going to see a side of Andrea that's almost the opposite of how we met her in Season 1. That's a pretty big tease, and it makes me think her arc this season is less about the job and more about her finally being honest with herself about what she wants, which, if you ask me, includes her connection to Kayce. Now for the part everyone's actually losing sleep over, Tom Weaver. Season 1 spent a whole season making us suspicious of Irons, then made us think maybe it was somebody working for the mining company, when really it was Tom pulling the strings the entire time, hiring the men who ambushed Cal and Belle in the finale. What I want to know now is how long Kayce stays in the dark about it. He just turned down Tom's offer on East Camp and rode off with Dolly, completely unaware her father orchestrated an attack on his own team that same night. That's about as dramatic irony as television gets, and I don't think the show is going to let that sit for very long. My guess is the season builds toward Kayce finding out roughly around the midpoint, not the finale, because there's too much story to tell once he knows. Which brings me to Dolly. I go back and forth on this one. Kayce holding her hand after Garrett's death, and then the two of them riding off together at the end of the finale, tells me the show wants us invested in this relationship before it blows everything up. The real question is whether Dolly's known about her father's plans this whole time, or whether she's about to get caught in the middle just like Kayce. Given how the trailer frames things, hinting at alliances and dangerous situations for both of them, I lean toward Dolly being genuinely blindsided too, which would make her choice between her father and Kayce the emotional core of the back half of the season. The trailer itself opens with a group of armed men confronting Kayce at his own home, and one of them tells him he's heard stories about the Duttons. Kayce's response makes it clear he's not scared of a reputation, and the sequence that follows shows he's still just as dangerous as ever. Whoever these men are, I don't think they're random. Given the mining and land dispute politics already in play, my bet is they're connected to Tom, either directly or through whoever he's using to keep his own hands clean. It would track with the pattern from Season 1. Tom never does his own dirty work. Tate is the other thread I keep coming back to. After everything he went through with the violence of Season 1, I don't think the show is done testing him. If Kayce is distracted by Tom, Dolly, and whatever's happening with this new threat at East Camp, Tate could easily end up caught in the middle of it, maybe even used as leverage. I'd love to be wrong about that, but the show hasn't been shy about putting him in harm's way before. And finally, Thomas Rainwater. He's spent 2 seasons standing directly in the way of the mining interests that Tom appears to be protecting, which makes him one of the most exposed people on this show. If the writers are looking for a gut punch moment to raise the stakes early in the season, I wouldn't be shocked if it involves him. So here's where I land heading into October. Kayce finds out about Tom sooner rather than later. Dolly gets forced into an impossible choice. Andrea's return isn't as simple as slotting back into her old role, and Cal and Belle spend the season paying for that finale in ways that have nothing to do with the gunfire. That's everything we know and everything I'm guessing it going into season 2. What's your theory? Is Dolly in on it, or is she as much in the dark as Kayce? Let me know down in the comments.